Well, what's the impact of losing Eastu, and how do you go about distributing those touches, not just across the receiving core, but I imagine tight ends, the running backs? How does that just redistribute everything?
Anytime you lose anybody in your squad, it's tough. Losing Evan was definitely tough, but next man up mentality. I mean, we've been here before. I've been here before in my career, whether it's as a player, or as a coach. People get hurt in this game. It's unfortunate. We wish it wouldn't have happened, but it did. Um, so it's about, yeah, guys stepping up, doing their job, learning, growing. That's what this fall camp's all about, trying to feel early on who that guy is going to be. I think we got a good group of kids, inexperienced but talented. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out of camp to really take that spot.
Right here on the right, Zach.
Kyler talked about being a little bit down and depressed initially after his injury last year. How have you kind of seen him bounce back and get to a point now where he's ready to contend for one of those spots?
Yeah, Kyler's he's been a little bit injury prone or plagued, I would say, early in his career, but super talented. Has a willingness to learn and can really make big plays down the field. So we need him to play big. We do. He's somebody I'm looking forward to this season, getting out there and making an impact for us. But like you said, the best ability that you can have on offense and in football is availability. So he needs to be available like he's done and take care of his body, which he's done a phenomenal job of. And I'm excited about where he can get to and his ability, like I said, to make plays down the field.
Here on the left here.
Obviously early, but what are the traits you want to see from your offensive line room to fill in the positions that you guys, people left last year?
I mean, elite communication. I mean, when you lose Josh Connolly, Johnny Cornelius, Marcus Harper, Nashad, like that's a lot of experience. So those guys knew all the calls like the back of their hand. They've seen every look from our defense. They've seen looks in this conference. So when you lose guys like that, I think that's the first thing that falters. But what do we need? Poncho to be that guy, and that's something that I felt from him this summer is taking that next step in his leadership. He's an upperclassman now, so his ability to lead, not just by example, but by his vocalness is huge. And then physicality. I mean, I think what we added was very physical people. Isaiah World, Emmanuel Pregnon, Alex Harkey, like these guys are big physical players and really have done a nice job so far learning our offense, learning our calls. I mean, Coach Terry and the law firm, they do the best job I've ever been around in terms of teaching how to play offensive line and develop those guys. So far, so good.
James.
Going back to the receiving core, Will, what is it that does make you confident in this group, and not just because even before Evan went down, you had a group of 11 scholarship guys, and several of whom were injury prone, and half of whom were either redshirt freshmen or true freshmen. And y'all could have gone to the portal after spring again before the injury, and you didn't. So what was the confidence that you had even before the injury to Evan, and why you're confident in this group? Certainly without it.
I think it's more than just the wideouts. I really like our offense as a whole, the talent that we have. It's just the experience factor. That's what you lose Tez, you lose Trayshawn. The year prior, you lose Troy. I mean, that's a lot of catches, a lot of experience. So the talent is there, but talent only takes you so far. These kids need to get real life game reps, and Montana State's going to be one hell of an opponent. And then every single day, I mean, what we get to go against on defense is as good as you're going to find throughout the country. Our defense added tons of length in the back end that, uh, you know, really looks like a different defense, just to be real. They are young as well, but the competition has been great so far. But to answer your question, just need them to practice with a purpose, learn how to play this game at this level. And then we don't just have to rely on just our wideouts. I mean, we have phenomenal tight end core experience there with Kenyon Sadiq. Jamari Johnson has college experience at Louisville. Roger Saliapaga, somebody I'm really excited about. And then our running back room is deep and does have experience too with Noah, with Jaden, with Jay, Dink Riggs, just to name a few. So we have other positions that we're going to rely on this year, maybe more than just out of 11 personnel like we have in the past with Tez and crew. But that's exciting. It's an exciting challenge for us as coaches.
Right here on the right, Zach.
You mentioned the length in the secondary. That's a noticeable difference this year. As someone who schemes against that secondary every day in practice, what has that changed for you, and what have you noticed from them so far?
Yeah, I mean, I told our offense today how blessed we are to get to go against Dan Lanning, Tosh Lupoy, Chris Hampton, Brian Magalowski, Shawa Dude, Tony Tuioti. I mean, Kamagari. Like these coaches on defense are, I mean, it's the best I've ever been around. I mean, it's not even close. So what they give us on a daily basis schematically is hard enough. And then when you add extremely talented players in the back end, a guy like Mateo, Tatum, Amari Washington, Bryce Betcher, I mean, it's a defense that's really fun to watch fly around. And, I'm very happy and thankful that I got Tosh and Dan and Chris and all those guys on that side of the ball that coach those kids up and develop them like they have. And it's really fun. It's been great competition.
In the back, Aaron?
Tosh talked yesterday just about the different phases, I guess, for the defense in the offseason, and how he just explained how now the expectation is higher as you move into fall camp, higher than it was maybe in the spring. For the offense, do you feel kind of the same way about that? What is the expectation now that you are getting every day, one day closer to facing another opponent?
Yeah, I mean, it is different now. Like I've told the guys, like reps start to get cut in certain spots. The depth chart starts to form. We're early in camp, so it's still a green and yellow team and mixed groups. But as we get closer, there's going to be a one group. There's going to be a two. And then we start getting into, scout team looks and game week preps and guys really settle into their roles. So right now it's still early on in camp. It's about fundamentals and technique, flying around, extreme effort, great attitude, and toughness like we've never seen. But as we move forward, what I'm looking for is just elite execution. Like that's one thing when you think about where I want to be week one is I don't want to wait till week 3 or after a bye to hit on all cylinders. I want to start fast and just to get that confidence early with a young group. So that's vital for me. We're still in installation phase early in this camp, but as we get into next week and the following week, it'll really pretty even itself out. Figure out what we're really good at schematically, what personnel groups we love the most, and really try to build into that first week.
James?
What progress have you seen Dante make over the last 3 months, whether it was with you in some of the supervised practices in summer ball, Will, or in his time away from the coaching staff, whether it was going down to Texas with the Corian or skipping out on Manning in order to spend more time with the guys, or whatever the case was? What in the last 90 plus days, how have you seen him progress so far?
I mean, I just think he's really tried to take a leadership role, and it's hard when you haven't played here. We know he's played at UCLA, but now he's been here for a full season and then a full spring. So he's really tried to take that next step and knowing his guys, like you mentioned, throwing with receivers, being a leader. That's really what I've seen the most. But the biggest growth for him is just take what the defense gives you. Like you take what the defense gives you, they'll give you the game every single time. We've won a lot of games here with that mindset at quarterback. That doesn't mean that we don't throw to win, we don't take chances down the field, but being an extremely efficient offense is huge because we stay on the field, we keep our defense fresh, we convert first downs, score touchdowns in the red area, and then when we got our chances to take a shot and to create an explosive, that's what we do. So I think Dante is really buying into that mindset, understanding that playing quarterback at this level takes winning football every single down. It's not every other, it's not every third play. It's got to be every single down for us to be the offense that we want to be.
Ask Dan and Tosh this, but I'm curious what your adjustment so far has been like, moving from 2 practice fields down to 1 practice field, and how that's changed things logistically for you.
I mean, you got to be adaptable. We had to adapt to NIL and transfer portal. We got to adapt to 1 practice field. So it's, I was at Lake Travis. We practiced on the game field, so you kind of find your spots, an individual as a quarterback unit, and defense on one half, we're on the other half, and when we 2-spot it, we're splitting the field. So it's I think Coach Lanning's done a phenomenal job with him and Matt Neuer and Marshall just really figuring out logistically how to manage practice, and it's been smooth. And we did it in spring. If it was the first time this fall camp, it might be a little bit just hard to manage currently because we would have to figure it out, but we figured it out and feel fine about it.
Thank you on the left.
there are some things that can't be taught, like experience. You can teach skill and fundamentals, but it's bound to happen with a team full of fresh guys. How do you plan on working out some of the experience kinks that will rise during the season?
That's a great question. It's hard. The best way to learn how to play football is to play football. Put the ball down, 11 on 11, fans in the stands, clock, referees, and you only get so many opportunities to do that, especially in college football where you really can't lose. I guess you can lose a game or two now to get in the playoffs, but you still really can't. We're not the NFL where you can, have a loss early in the season. So you got to really take every single day and play like a game. You have to. Every situation that you get as a player and a coach has to be game-like. If you're taking a rep in an individual drill, you got to simulate the game. You got to visualize the game. We do so much situational football here that we feel like we're in a great shape once we get to game day. But it takes time. It takes an actual live performance to see where we're at. But I feel like we have experience in spots, just not necessarily together. So that's where we got to get to. Guys have played football at this level, especially up front, but not much together. So that's going to be the challenge for us as a coaching staff to make sure that we're super clean in our game prep, in our personnels and our formations, that we can have, clean football plays early on this year to give us momentum as we go through on each week.
Aaron, did you have one? Yeah, I couldn't. I wasn't sure.
Greg. Just the challenges that the offense kind of faced early in those games last season, even though you were able to pull out wins. Did that change anything for you kind of heading into this fall camp? Just when you were talking about expectations and to start fast, was that because kind of the way that you didn't like how maybe the offense started last season?
Yeah, I think, it's kind of that previous question. We were trying to figure out our identity. And when you try to not that we were just trying to replicate the 23 season, but you kind of run some of the same schemes that you love and you feel really confident in, but maybe it's not the year for that scheme. Maybe it's not the year for the lineup that you thought it was going to be. So we had to make tweaks early on, and not just our personnel who was out on the field, but our process as a coaching staff. We changed how we really game planned early in the week to be the most efficient and to cut down on calls. Less is more at times in football. Everybody loves scheme. See Dan Casey and on X, there's new football plays every single second that you're on that app. Every second. That's why I got off of it. I'm not on that. No Instagram. I cut all that off. Bunch of rat poison on there. But when you're on stuff like that, when there's availability of schemes, man, sometimes you put too much stuff in because there's a lot of cool plays out there and you want to score touchdowns. But it's still about blocking and tackling. So, how can you do the routine routinely? That's what you got to do as an offense. And, that's what we fixed last year early on. I felt like then we caught momentum and got Dylan in a good groove. So that's the key this year, is just getting in that groove earlier rather than, the third week.
James.
Realize this is unrelated to here at the moment, Will, but given that you played with Teddy, I was just curious if you've been in touch with him in the last month and had any thoughts on what he's facing at Miami Northwestern.
I haven't. I don't know the rules down there. I know Teddy's one of the best dudes I've ever been around. He's all about kids, and it's a shame when, people make rules for adults and not kids at times when you're helping out kids. But, I'm sure it'll all sort itself out, and, it stinks for him and those kids, but just a phenomenal person.
Last question, Aaron.
There's a lot of time, and I feel like the time between the spring game and summer is when the quarterbacks and the receivers really take time to get that connection down between fall camp. What is maybe one thing that has kind of surprised you about those two groups and their connection heading into fall camp that you maybe didn't see during the spring?
Yeah, I don't know if much has surprised me. I think I've been pleased with our quarterbacks taking the reins, even though nobody's declared a starter. I felt that they took another step in their development this summer. And the wideouts, we have a Monarch machine that shoots footballs like a jugs, like at rapid fire, and they were on that all summer. And I think it's a credit to Coach Douglas what he's done so far here with his development of that position. And he's from Northeast Ohio. He's blue collar, and he'll get after you a little bit. So I think that's good for a young group that somebody is demanding a lot from them, because ultimately they need that. They need that. We need that. We need that group to be, a big aspect of this offense like it's been here in the past. So, but they don't have to do it alone. That's the good thing. We got lots of talent. It's just, can we come together? Can we be tough? Can we run the ball when it matters? Can we sustain blocks? And when we got opportunities to throw the ball on the field, can we throw and catch the ball? And so we can do those simple things. We'll give ourselves a chance.